Good day everyone. Welcome to our new video in Statistics and Probability. Again, this is Teacher Neil, and today I will be discussing about solving the mean, variance, and standard deviation of discrete probability distributions. So, are you ready?
Yes!
Very good. Now first, let us recall what is mean. So, mean, way back in your junior high school, is the average of all possible outcomes. It is also referred as the expected value of a probability distribution. On the other hand, for variance and standard deviation, both of them are measures of spread or variability. Now, to solve the mean of a discrete probability distribution, we use the formula mu is equal to the summation of x times p of x. It may look difficult, but this symbol only means that the mean is equal to the summation, or you add all the products of the values of the random variable multiplied by its corresponding probabilities. Now, to solve the variance, we use the formula sigma square, which is equal to the summation of x squared times p of x minus mu squared. It means that our variance represented by sigma square is equal to the summation of the product of the square of the values of the random variable, which is our x, times its corresponding probabilities. Now, that sum is subtracted by the square of the value we get from the mean. Now, to solve for the standard deviation, we use sigma is equal to the square root of the variance. So standard deviation is represented by the symbol sigma. So to get the value of the standard deviation, we need to get first the value of the variance and then take the square root of the variance, and that would be our standard deviation. So to illustrate this one, all of these formulas, let us have an example. So this example can be found in page 22 in module 1. It is stated there that in a seafood restaurant, the manager wants to know if their customers like their new raw large oysters. According to their sales representative, in the past 4 months, the number of oysters consumed by a customer, along with its corresponding probabilities, is shown in the succeeding table. Compute the mean, variance, and standard deviation. So this table we have here is the given probability distribution. We have the values of our random variables, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. With its corresponding probabilities, which are 2 over 10, 2 over 10, 3 over 10, 2 over 10, and 1 over 10, respectively. So to solve for the mean, variance, and standard deviation, let us take first the mean. So to solve for the mean, we use the formula mu is equal to the summation of x times p of x. So we first multiply the value of x, which is 0, times its corresponding probabilities, which is 2 over 10. So that is why we have this, 0 times 2 over 10. So the next, we add 1 times the corresponding probabilities, which is 2 over 10. And you do the same process again and again until you reach the last value of the random variable. So that would be, we add 2 times 3 over 10 plus 3 times 2 over 10, and lastly we add 4 times 1 over 10. So if you do have a scientific calculator or even any calculator, we will get the value of the mean equal to 1.8. So we already have the mean of the discrete probability distribution that we have, 1.8. Now, let us have the variance. To solve for the variance, we use the formula sigma square is equal to the summation of x squared times p of x minus mu square. Okay? So, to illustrate that one, we get first the summation of the product of the x squared times p of x. Actually, it's quite the same with the mean, but the value of the random variable is squared. Okay? So if you don't know what I mean, let us have this one. So it is equal to 0 square, you square this one, times 2 over 10. So it's quite the same here. But we put squares because it is x squared times p of x. So the same way, we add the next product. So we get 1 square times 2 over 10. And we have 2 square plus 3 over 10 plus 3 square times 2 over 10 plus 4 square times 1 over 10. So we add all those products that we have. And then subtract it by the square of our mean, which is 1.8. So square of 1.8. We subtract it by the sum of all these products. So if using the calculator, we get 1.56. So to get the value of the standard deviation, we use the formula sigma is equal to the square root of the variance. As it shows, we only need to get the square root of this, the 1.56. So substitute 1.56 here in the variance, square root of 1.56. So that gives us approximately 1.25. Okay, if you see, there is a symbol approximately because that is not actually equal to 1.25, but we use rounding off. That is why we get 1.25. Okay, so this is the actual process of how to solve the mean, variance, and standard deviation. So to further understand the lesson, we'll have another example. So in this example, it can be found in page 23 in module 1. It states that the probabilities that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 accidents happen in northern Mindanao Highway in a year is 0.45, 0.22, 0.15, 0.10, 0.05, 0.02, and 0.01 respectively. Find the average number of accidents that occur in the said highway each year. So, we have this one because more likely you would prefer it to be like this, the table. It could also be in horizontal, okay? But the most important is there are the values of the random variables with its corresponding probabilities. Okay, so these are, we get this one from here, this part of the problem, this one from here, so that is respectively. So the same process, we solve first the mean, that gives us this one, this formula, and the same process, we get the product of 4 times 0.45 plus 5 times 0.22. We do the process again and again. 6 times 0.15 plus 7 times 0.10 plus 8 times 0.05 plus 9 times 0.02, and lastly plus 10 times 0.01. So using the calculator, we get 5.18. Okay, so that would be our mean or expected value, 5.18. So more likely there would be 5.18 accidents in a year in northern Mindanao Highway. That would be the average. Okay, so the question is find the average number. So we already answered it. So suppose we need to find the variance. So to get the variance, variance is equal to the sigma square time is equal to the summation of x squared times p of x minus mu squared. So the same way we do the previous example. So that will be 4 square times 0.45, then plus 5 square times 0.22, and we do it again, 6 square times 0.15 plus 7 square times 0.10 plus 8 square plus 0.05 plus 9 square plus 0.02 plus 10 square times 0.01, and that sum would be subtracted by the square of our mean, which is 5.18. So the value of the variance is equal to 1.9876. I've stated here the actual value because so that you would know the actual value, but you can actually round it off to 1.99 and make the symbol like approximately 1.99. Okay, so lastly to get the standard deviation for the given discrete probability distribution, we have this one. So sigma is equal to the square root of variance. So we get the square root of this, 1.9876. So that gives us approximately 1.41. So it's actually very easy to solve the mean, variance, and standard deviation. The problem is how do you input this one in the calculator. If you don't have a calculator, I suggest you, or a scientific calculator, I suggest you download the app named Calc Business. You can download it in the Google app or the app store that you have in your phone. Okay, so these part you would actually solve for the mean, variance, and standard deviation. And I have already made a Google form for this, so you don't need to. You can actually solve it in a paper so that it would make it more simpler. And choose the correct answer on the Google form that I've sent in a G class. Okay, so here is the run through. What I can do activity 3. So there are a lot actually. 1, 2, 3, and then we also have 1, 2 for the letter B. So thank you very much for listening. God bless. Keep safe.